what's up everybody? It's Amaya. So in today's video, we are doing another declutter. And we are going to be working on blushes today and hopefully also bronzers. I'm not sure if this is going to have to be a two-part video, one blush, one bronzer. I don't know. I'm hoping to get them done in both video, but who knows? Also, I'm not dead. Woohoo! I have been gone. I know. It's just been crazy. I've been redoing my room. I got a whole new bed, whole new just everything. I'm going to be doing a room tour. Hopefully, I think that would be fun to do. Room tour, vanity tour, all that sorts of fun stuff. Let me know if you want to see that. Thumbs up. But for now, we're going to do some decluttering because I need to make some space for stuff. And I also have not decluttered in a while. And I know you guys like these videos. I like these videos. And yeah, let's just do it. Let's begin. I'm going to start with this guy right here. This is probably the newest blush that I have. This is the Beauty Crop Blush Duo in Marvelous. This is what it looks like. So this blush duo is a cream on one side and a powder on the other. And the powder actually has like kind of a shimmer to it. Like it has a little bit of a sheen. They're almost the same exact color. This one's the cream, this one's the powder. I don't really know. I don't know if I love this or not yet. I don't love how tiny it is. I feel like it'd be hard to get my blush brushes in there, but because I have not tried a lot, I am going to keep it for now. All right, I'm going to be getting rid of both of my e.l.f. Jelly Pop blushes. I don't even know that they sell these anymore. I have them in the shade Peach Pop and what's this one? Berry Pop. I was so excited for these, and I actually really liked Peach Pop. I thought it was really pretty. It's a very like shimmery, kind of like jelly consistency. So I bought this guy right here, Berry Pop, also very excited, but it was just way too much. Like, look how reflective that is. Like, it's way too much to be a blush. It was too hard to apply because really you couldn't get like a nice, small, light application. This one almost looked more like a highlight on me, whereas this one looked very, like, just way too much. All right, so moving on, I am keeping all three of these guys right here because I love all of them. This is the e.l.f. Putty Blush, and this is in the shade... I'll put it on the screen here, but I absolutely love these putty blushes. Oh my god, they're just so nice. They apply so well. Definitely like a cream to powder formula, which I really like because it doesn't move around, doesn't get like greasy throughout the day. Fantastic. I also love this shade. And then also this is the Milani Cheek Kiss liquid blush in 110 Nude Flush, which that all rhymes and I find that very satisfying. But I really like this as well. I don't love the fact that it's in a tube. It makes it a little difficult to apply, but this shade is just like the perfect like sunburn shade for me. So when I want to just look like I have like a nice natural nude flush, literally as the name suggests, it just looks so beautiful. It's just that nice nude peachy shade. I also really like the Clean Fresh Cream Blush from Covergirl. This is the first Covergirl product I've liked in a long time. This one's in the shade 370 Butterflies. Again, this is that tube applicator. I don't particularly love it, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And this one is shimmery too, but definitely not as shimmery as the e.l.f. blushes. You can see there's a little bit of a reflect there, but it definitely looks much more natural on the skin than the e.l.f. ones did. It kind of blends out nicer. It's not as heavily pigmented. Just way different. You can definitely tell the difference. But this little guy right here, this is the Bite Multi-Stick in Cashew. Oh my god. So I loved this for so long. This is actually a little sample size. This used to be like my only cream blush, and I loved it to death. I would use this on my eyes, on my cheeks, on my lips. I absolutely loved it, but it's getting very stiff now, and it's also very old. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like some white crusts around there, and I just know it's going bad, so I'm done with this one. Immediately, I know I am keeping this one for sure. This is the Note Cosmetics Luminous Silk Compact Blusher in Desert Rose. I've talked about this so much. I've worn out the little Note, what is that called? Embossing. The impression in here. This is my most favorite orangey peachy blush. I've talked about it in favorites videos before. I've ranted about this to death. I haven't talked about it a lot in a while, mainly because I talk about it so much. I love the formula of the blush. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm definitely keeping this one. I think I'm going to keep this guy as well. This is the Laura Geller, what is this? The Baked Blush in Brighton in Tropic Hues. This is what it looks like right here. It's a baked blush. It's pretty. I don't use it a ton. It definitely has like a sheen to it, so it's more of like that blush topper type of thing going on, but I still like it. It looks nice. I feel like I haven't quite made my whole, decision on what I feel when it comes to this blush, so I definitely think I am going to keep it just for now. This guy, though, I am going to let go of. Oh, this is my baked blush in Hummingbird Hype from Wet n Wild. This has broken. Oh my god, I used to love this blush. This used to be my favorite blush, and it is super shiny and shimmery, as you guys can see. I'm not really into that look as much anymore, so I'm getting rid of this one. Also, it's just old and it is broken. I don't know what I want to do with this one. This is the Burt's Bees blush with Bamboo in the shade 1210 Shy Pink. It's fine. This is definitely not my favorite blush formula. I have ones that I like a lot better. It's fine. It's fine. I've used it a decent amount, but I just find it very powdery, and the color's a little too cool tone for me. So yeah, I think I'm going to pass this one along. This is the Pixie by Petra Fresh Face blush in Beach Rose. This one's also really pretty as well. I really like blushes that are this type of color, this kind of like nudie, peachy type of shade. This one's really nice too. It has a really natural sheen to it. Yeah, I'll keep this one for now. I have a lot of blushes that look like this, but I do like the formula of this, and I feel like I want to use it more. It's not my most favorite blush, but it's still pretty. I'll keep that one. These two I'm definitely getting rid of. These are the matte blushes by Makeup Revolution. I don't even know if they make these anymore. They're in the shade Nude and Beloved. I got these forever ago. You can see they've been through a lot. I bought this one first. This is the more nude shade. These are very matte blushes. When they say the matte blush, they're not kidding. She matte, okay? She matte. And then this one in the shade Beloved actually is broken. Wow, look at that. It's just a little bit more of a pinky type of tone. These blushes were fine. There was nothing inherently wrong about them. I just am not a fan of super, super matte blushes. These ones just a little too matte. They're super old, and yeah, this one's broken. So haven't used these in forever. Not planning on using them. Gotta get rid of them. Okay, so this is a Morphe Brontour that I picked up in the shade Fantabulous, and you may be wondering, Maya, you're doing blushes. Well, I actually picked this up to use as a blush because I thought the shade was really pretty, and I thought this would be really nice as a bronzy, blushy type of shade. So it has a matte side on the one end and then a shimmer on the other side. And you're supposed to kind of be able to mix them together. I have never been super in love with the Morphe Brontours. They're not bad, but they're also not the best. These are very pigmented, which is nice, but I find that it can be a little overwhelming. And to be totally honest, I haven't used this a ton as an actual blush. I don't know. I'm going to put this in a maybe pile and see if I have room at the end. If I don't, I'll get rid of it. But if I do, I might keep it. All right, moving on. So I have this blush right here. This is the Ofra blush in the shade Mai Tai. I just got this recently on recommendation from so many YouTubers. I was very excited. I've heard a lot of good things about this. I really like it. This shade is gorgeous. It's just a beautiful, bright peach. Ugh, it's so nice. And it definitely is a more matte formula. Not super pigmented and it's not super powdery, so I find that it doesn't go on the skin too overwhelmingly. I really like the embossing in here too. Side note, I just think that's really pretty. I really like this blush. I honestly do. I'm going to keep it for sure. One, because it's new, but also just because I really like it. I just don't like Ofra's packaging because look at that. Smudges everywhere. Ugh. Okay, so this is the Colourpop blush in Tearin' Up My Heart. This was from their Garden Variety collection. This is what it looks like. Just a really nice peachy blush. Very similar actually to this Pixie one, almost identical. This one's fine. It has a little bit of micro glitter in it, but I find that on the face it doesn't really show up. You can't even really see it on my hand because it's a fairly light blush, but I don't find that the micro glitter shows up too much on my hand, and it's a nice blush. I like it. Colourpop's blush formula is meh. I don't find that they have an amazing formula, but I don't find that their formula sucks either. I don't find myself wanting to buy blushes from them, but I also don't hate them, if that makes sense. They're just not my favorite, but I really like this packaging. It's gorgeous. I love the little flower in here. Ugh, it's so pretty. And the shade is really pretty as well. So I am going to be keeping this one. Next, this Kylie blush. This is in Close to Perfect. I love the Kylie blushes, okay? I think they are fantastic, especially this shade. This is just the perfect pinky blush. Whenever I want a pinky look, and as you can see, most of my blushes are more peachy, but whenever I want something a little bit more pink, I always reach for this. Granted, it is still very pink. Let me build up that swatch so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. I don't like super pigmented blushes, so I don't mind the fact that they're not super crazy pigmented. I really like I said, I really like these Kylie blushes. I think they're fantastic, so I'm definitely keeping this one. Same thing with this guy. This is the Ofra blush in pink satin. This one's also more recent. It's a very cool tone pink blush, and as you know, I'm not a huge cool tone pink person, as you can probably guess, but I do like to have some variety in my collection. I don't have a ton of, you know, light pink, pastel pink, or even like cool tone pink blushes in my collection at all. So I am going to keep this one because I do like the formula better than, say, the Burt's Bees one or one of the Revolution matte ones. So it's nice to have a variety in case I ever do want a nice, you know, light colored blush. Okay, these Clinique Cheek Pops. Seriously, a slept on product, okay? This is in the shade. Oh! Bruh! Stay in there, baby. All right, so this is the Clinique Cheek Pop in Fig Pop. Oh my god, I seriously freaking love these blushes. Okay, if I were to make a blush, I would make it like this. First of all, packaging, freaking adorable. Second of all, the formula is unreal, okay? It's like a cream to powder, but it's not actually cream. It is oh my god, I've never tried anything like it. It has a beautiful skin-like sheen to it, but it's not shimmery. And it's not a cream blush, but it's also not entirely a powder. I talked about Hourglass not that long ago. I don't think this blush is worth the hype at all. This is the Ambient Lighting Blush in Diffused Heat. It's a blush, and it has a sheen to it. It's not that good. I paid, what did I say in my video? I paid, what, $12, $15 for this? That's the most I would pay for this, honestly. And now that I'm looking at it, there is like micro glitter in here, which is crazy because I think this is a common theme throughout most of Hourglass's products is this micro glitter. And people don't ever talk about that, right? Like I don't ever hear people talk about micro glitter being in these products because micro glitter is something that I associate at least with cheap products. And this is certainly not cheap. But I do think it's really pretty. I mean, the blush is fine. The micro glitter doesn't really show up on your face, but it is still there. I'm keeping this only because it is still fairly new, but I don't foresee myself buying any more of these blushes or, you know, even keeping this like for a long time in the future. So, yeah. All right, and then I have these two Milani blushes right here. This is the Rose Powder Blush in Tea Rose, and then this is the beloved Luminoso. I'm keeping both of these, one because they're my favorite shade, nice peachy color. Also, they are new. I got them just a couple months ago. I have wanted to try these rose blushes since I was probably like 14 years old. I'm not even joking. I remember seeing them on Pinterest and oh my god, they're just so pretty. It's definitely like a very matte kind of silky formula, but it's not super powdery or chunky or anything like that. And then of course we have Luminoso, much more my speed, a little bit more shimmery, sheeny. Absolutely love it. I love the shade, of course. Fantastic. I love both of these. I think both of the formulas are very nice, but I am going to be keeping these. So I'm going to put all these guys back in here. I don't think I decluttered anything from this little slot. Okay, now we're moving on to this little section right here. So first off, right off the bat, I know that I'm keeping this L'Oreal True Match blush, again, because it's new. This is in the shade Neutral N7H Sweet Ginger. I have heard a lot of good things about these blushes, but I feel like they're also like one of those underrated old products that people kind of tend to like glance over. I think it's really, really pretty. It has that nice skin light sheen to it. I like the shade as well. It's kind of like a mauve-y pinky shade, which is fairly unique. Okay, I need to choose between these two. This is my other two blushes from Milani. This one is in Bella Bellini, which is obviously old. You can see they're in different packaging with different logos. And this one's in the shade Dolce Pink. They're both extremely similar shades, which is why I know I don't need both of them. This one right here, Bella Bellini, it has like almost a duochrome to it. And then Dolce Pink is more of just kind of like a, I don't know, like a pink. When they're swatched, there's not a huge difference. And Bella Bellini is a lot older. Dolce Pink is newer. Yeah, I don't know which one. I don't know. I just feel like Bella Bellini, like the formula is much creamier than Dolce Pink, which is weird to say because you'd think it wouldn't be because it's older. But I don't know. Just look at that gold duochrome. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. It's so pretty. Yeah, that's it. I'm keeping Bella Bellini. Okay. This is crazy because this is literally like new. Like I haven't used it that much, but from the times that I have used it, it was fine. Now that I'm looking at them, like literally they are the exact same color, except Bella Bellini has that gold shift, and I'm just a sucker for that. So Bella Bellini, you're staying. Dolce Pink, you're out of here. I have two of these mini Tarte blushes. This one's in the shade Party, and then this one's in the shade Feisty. Party was like a birthday gift forever ago, a perk from either Ulta or Sephora, I don't remember which. And then Feisty, is right here. It's more of a kind of coppery, terracotta-y tone. I think I'm going to get rid of Party just because it's old. I don't use it a lot. I am going to keep Feisty though. I do like this formula, the Amazonian Clay, what are these, the 12-hour blush. They're great formula. I wouldn't necessarily pay full price for them just because I think you can find blushes that are just as good, if not, you know, better at a lower price point. But I do enjoy them. I just think that this one's a little bit old. I'm starting to get kind of like hard pan on it just because it's, like I said, it's so old. And it's more of that like mauve shade that I don't use as much. So I'm going to get rid of that, but I'm definitely going to keep Feisty just for a little bit longer. It's just a really pretty shade. And when I want my blush to last for a long time, like I know it's gonna be hot out or whatever, and I need my blush to last, I always reach for this one because it really does have good lasting power. This NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush in the shade Totally Chill. Also keeping this guy. It's just a really unique shade because it looks kind of like that like peachy nude-ish shade, but it's almost like cool toned. I don't know how to describe it. It's not really like anything that's in my collection. And then like looking at it on my hand over here, like it almost kind of looks like a bruise. I'm not gonna lie, but it looks really pretty on the cheeks. I love this formula as well because it is a matte formula, but it has that little bit of a skin-like sheen to it, almost like a little bit of moisture in there or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's a very creamy matte, which I appreciate. And I think that these NYX Sweet Cheeks blushes are actually really good. Oh boy, this is the Make Them Blush from Pretty Vulgar. This is in the shade Hush Blush. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm forever ago. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. I'm not gonna lie, the packaging is gorgeous, but very just meh color, meh formula. Not a huge fan. It's very, it's like really like powdery and almost like chunky to a fault. I don't know if you can see like all those little chunks that kind of came out. It's very pigmented as well, which I find to be a little overwhelming. It's fine. I used it a few times, but I never find myself wanting to reach for this. And even when it was new, I didn't find myself wanting to reach for it a lot, which is definitely a sign to me that it's not something that's going to stay in my collection. So decluttering this guy right here. All right, next I have this Sugar Contour de Force Mini Blush in 01 Peach Peak. This is what it looks like right here. This is a really pretty blush. I think this is probably a sample size. I don't know if this is I don't know what this is. I don't know where I got this. It was either an Ipsy or a Lure box. I don't remember. But this is a really pretty blush. I really like it. The formula is incredibly soft and creamy. Like, oh my God, it feels like I'm touching like, I don't even know. So incredibly beautiful. Oh my God, and I love the color too. I honestly forget about this blush and I want to use it more. It's so pretty. I love the formula. So I am keeping this. I gotta figure out more about this brand because I don't really know what this is. But pretty blush. I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is the Space Case Cosmetics It's Not Me, It's My Sign blush. This is fine. I have a highlighter from them as well. I like the highlighter much better. The blush is a very like creamy formula as well. It's kind of like that mauve-y cool tone pink that I'm not a huge fan of. It's right up here. I don't even know if you can see that. But I've used it a couple times. I don't need it. I have a lot of other blushes that are very similar that work just the same. And someone else will love this, I'm sure. Okay, this shade right here from Ofra. This is the Madison Miller blush in Sweet Stuff. It's a pretty blush. I do like Ofra's blush formula. I wish that their pans were still this big on all their blushes. However, this one is their old formula, so like I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's kind of scratchy, and it's a very like mauve-y cool tone pink, which is just, it's not really my thing. So yeah, I'm probably gonna get rid of this one as well. This blush from Flower Cosmetics I'm keeping. It's the Flower Pots Powder Blush in Peach Primrose. Looks very similar to the Milani blushes. They kind of ripped off their design there, like yikes. Very pretty blush, very pretty color. I feel like this is one of the true like orangey peachy blushes that I have in my collection. It's right there. If I want like peach orange, just that that beautiful pop, I will go for this guy for sure. I also love the packaging on here. I don't know, this looks really pretty. I really do like Flower Cosmetics, and I wish they were still sold in Ulta because I would be buying them a lot more. Oh my god, this guy I'm getting rid of. This is the Essence Satin Touch Blush. I had a gripe with this product a long time ago because everybody freaking loved this blush, and I could not understand why, because I did not. I didn't like it. I just found that it didn't apply well to the skin. I didn't like how like weirdly creamy it was. I found it to be patchy. I just don't like it, and that kind of looks like a bruise on me. Like, if I want a bruise look or like that shade, I just reach for my NYX blush. I don't reach for the Essence one. So getting rid of this. This was one of my like unpopular opinions in the makeup world of like everybody loved this, and I did not see the point. Okie dokie, moving right along, we have this Morphe blush in Spirit. I freaking love this blush, okay? Like, say what you will about Morphe, but like this blush is beautiful. Their blushes and highlighters are stunning. This does have a little bit of micro glitter in it as well, but it doesn't show up too much on the face. I don't find that I'm noticing it flying around my face or spreading or anything like that. I find it just looking beautiful, to be totally honest. This is from Kaleidos. This is the Skin Blush. Let me get this open here. I think I want to say like in a declutter before or something like that, I talked about this blush and how I just wasn't really sure what I felt about it because it's a duochrome and it's kind of like a very like yellowy gold shade. I think I'm going to get rid of this, honestly. If I want kind of that duochrome shade, I'm going to go for my Bella Bellini. I just like it so much more. This one's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just a little too yellowy color for my liking, and it's a little too shimmery. It seems a little too highlighty for me. Oh my god, okay. This Monica Dar blush. This is in Fantasy. So this was one of the first reposts that I ever got from a brand when I was still on Instagram. I used to use the crap out of this blush. This brings back so many memories. I would never wear a blush like this now. Look at that. That's a literal highlighter, but I loved it at the time. It just looked so nice on the cheeks. And I mean, even looking at it now, I'm like, dang, that's a gorgeous like rose gold, but like for eyeshadow, like not for blush. But it's super like bumpy, and it's gotten like weird hard pan because it is literally so old. So I gotta say goodbye to this, but it will always remain in my heart, in my memory. Because it was the first thing I ever got reposted. It was the first moment when I was like, oh my god, people know who I am. Okay, getting rid of this Bellapierre blush and this Cargo blush. I don't know why I chose to do them at the same time, but they're just small and I want to get rid of them. I've had this one forever as well. It's literally a loose highlighter. I don't know how anybody can call this a blush because it's not. Oh my god, like look at that. Look at that down there. That's insane. It's literally like a loose highlighter. So no thank you, ma'am. And then this Cargo blush I've just had for so long. I never really used it. This was supposed to be like a water resistant blush. I never tested that out, but it's kind of like a cool tone pink, and it's old, so bye. This guy is freaking old. This is the Most Necessary Super Shock Cheek. I think this was in my highlighter declutter that I did. Was it? I don't remember. I'll have to look back, but I kept this because one, the fact that it is still so creamy is unbelievable, and just like look at that. Like look at how pretty that is. Oh, why do I keep you? I don't need you, but I love you. Oh my god. Like, look at that. But when would I use that? When would I use that? Ideally. I just love how, like, this is still moist. Like, the Colourpop stuff dries out super fast, but, like, this does not. And I don't believe that you can find this shade anymore because Colourpop thought it was a great idea to discontinue all of their deep shades. Tell me why. I don't know. But I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use this as a highlighter. I'm not going to use this as a blush. I'm not going to use this. I need to get rid of it. But god dang, it's so pretty. All right, so what we got here? Okay, so we have these two e.l.f. duos here in the shade Rosy Flush. Ooh, Rosy Flush and Soft and Subtle. These are the matte blush duos, correct? Yes, matte blush duos. This guy right here, this is, what are you called? I just forgot. This is Soft and Subtle. And this is Rosy Flush. If I'm going to be honest, between the two of these, Rosy Flush is so much better. However, I actually have a Natasha Denona blush that I just got recently that's literally this same color combination, and I love it. It's a better formula. So I'm going to get rid of these also because they're really old. So it's time for these to go. But they are great. I like them. I don't know that e.l.f. sells these anymore, but I really like them. I just have the Natasha Denona blush that looks like that one duo, and if I'm being totally honest, I'm going to reach for that over this one. I have these two blushes from Covergirl. These are the True Blend blushes. This one's in the shade Deep Mauve, and then this one's in the shade Light Rose. I got these for cheap because I wanted to try them. I heard good things about them. This one is too light for me. It's very, 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 very light. So I'm going to declutter that to someone who can actually freaking use it. And then this one right here, Deep Mauve, is fine. It's a very like purpley blush, and that's why I bought it, because I wanted something that was going to be unique in my collection. But let's be honest, when am I going to use that? When am I going to use that? I'm going to tell you when. I'm not. Because I don't. It is so purple, which is fantastic for someone who is not my shade. So I'm getting rid of both of those. There's nothing wrong with the formula though. It's very creamy. It's a nice baked formula. Just the shades are not for me. I have this e.l.f. blush. This is the Primer Infused blush in Always Cheeky. These blushes were not good. I did not like them. I don't know why I still have this. Also, this shade is super light. Like literally, like that is very light, even for me. So yeah, passing that one along for sure. All right, this Lorac blush, this is in the shade Aura. It's a cool tone. It's a cool tone. I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna use it. That's literally like purple. Nope. Goodbye. Wow, I'm just like, you guys are gonna be so proud of me. All you guys who are mad at me about my eyeshadow palette declutter are gonna be so proud of me. This is from Lovecraft Beauty. This is actually a hand-me-down from one of my friends. I really like this shade. I haven't used it a ton because I just got it not that long ago. But it's like that kind of like light peachy shade. So I'm going to keep this so I can try it out a little bit more. Don't know if I love it yet, but it's still pretty. And then these last three right here, I'm going to get rid of all three of these. These are just like random little blushes. This is from Dirty Little Secrets Cosmetics. It's old. It's a pretty shade. Definitely one of my shades, but it's just old. Same thing with the Lychee and Gold Healthy Glow Rose Gold Blush from Seraphine Botanicals. It's just old, and it's starting to do that like bally thing like the Monica Dar one was doing, and it's too light for me. So getting rid of that guy. And then this one from Dome is in English Rose. I liked this blush. This one was very nice and creamy formula. Definitely has like that natural glow that I like. But I just have so many other blushes that look like this. And it takes forever to go through a blush. It takes forever to even like use a different blush. Like you kind of have your favorites and then you just keep going. So this one can be passed along as well. All right, let's put everything back in and kind of redo this whole thing. Okay, I have decided that I am going to keep this Morphe Brontour just because I do have the space. This is what my little drawer looks like now. And then I do have my drawer or my little insert right here filled with my favorites that are going to go in with my vanity, and then I'll switch out some of these blushes that I want to try more of. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the bronzer drawer. And the first thing that I know, I'm just going to say right off the bat that I'm getting rid of is this guy. Okay, I got this. Where did I get this? It's supposed to be like a sparkling body bronzer highlighter crap. I don't know. I've literally never opened it. This puff, freaking amazing, but I've literally never opened this ever in my entire life, and there's no need for it, and I kept it for a while thinking I might use it, and then I was like, what am I doing with this? Why does this exist in my collection? Because I'm not going to use it, and it's taking up space. So, goodbye. I have never liked these concealers for actual concealing, but as far as contouring / bronzing goes, I absolutely love them. I think they do a fantastic job. I have mine in the shade Beautiful Bronze, Cool Tan, and Medium Bisque. I am going to get rid of Cool Tan because it's just a little too orangey, yellowy for me. Surprisingly, it's not very cool at all. I love this one right here, Beautiful Bronze. It is just like the perfect like bronzing contouring shade, especially for when I am a little bit tan. I just find it looks really natural on the face. And then from a little bit more fair, Medium Bisque just works really nicely. It's definitely more of a cool tone, kind of like contouring type shade. I just really like it, but I definitely don't have any need for this guy right here. So I'm going to get rid of that one, but I am going to keep these two right here. I have two of these guys right here. These are the Wet n Wild makeup sticks. They're the contour sticks. I have them in the shade Oaks on You and Where's Walnut. I like both of these. I've used Oaks on You for a while. It's definitely a more warm orangey type of shade, and I actually prefer Where's Walnut. I just find that it looks a little bit nicer on my skin tone. I'm actually going to be getting rid of Oaks on You, but I am keeping Where's Walnut. I use this all the time. It's just so easy to apply. It's so blendable, and it is so affordable. So keeping this guy, getting rid of the other one. I highly recommend this if you're looking for a good cream bronzing product for cheap. Fantastic. I also have my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in Dark Cocoa. I just have a thing with using cream products, cream concealers, liquid concealers as like bronzing, contouring products. I like this one. It's definitely a little bit more of a warm shade, but I like that for, you know, when I'm a little bit more tan, I want something a little bit more just warm and bronzing, nothing too like intense as far as contouring goes. And then I have these two guys right here. This is my Pericone MD No Makeup Bronzer. I don't like this as much as I thought I would. I was really expecting to kind of fall in love with this, but I don't know what it is about it. I find that maybe it's like the color. I don't really know. It's just not my all-time favorite. I feel like it sometimes looks a little too orange on the skin. I honestly, if I had to only choose one of these products to ever use again, I would choose the Wet n Wild Contour Stick. It's probably the cheapest out of all of them. But this one isn't bad. It's just not fantastic. Then lastly, we have this Bite. This is one of the multi-sticks, and this is in Honey Wheat. And this one is a very, very warm shade. This is definitely like very warm, orangey toned, as you can see, but it has a little bit of depth to it. I want kind of just a more warm, like blush bronzer type of thing. I absolutely reach for this. So I'm keeping all but two of my cream bronzing products just because I really like them. I think I'm going to keep the majority of these ones right here. Actually, I think I'm going to keep all of them. I know I'm going to keep my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. As you can see, I have used a lot of this. I have made the indent kind of go away. I love, love, love this bronzer so much. It is fan-freaking-tastic. I recommend this to everybody whenever I have the chance. As you can see, this is very light, but it's the perfect like bronzing contouring shade. Even when I am more tan, this one works fantastically. It's one of the best bronzers I have ever used. Also, for sure, keeping my Milani. This is a Sun-Kissed Silky Matte bronzer in the shade 2. This is amazing as well, and I really like this one, especially for contouring. And this guy really surprised me. This is the Too Cool for School Art Class by Rodin. This is their little like bronzing compact. This I got in a package from Yes Style, and to be honest, I was expecting to, like it, do a review on it, whatever, but I didn't expect to love it as much as I do. It just gives such a natural, like, contour to the face. I mean, it really doesn't even show up on my skin, so you wouldn't think that it would, on my face, but it really, really does. One that I'm not so in love with, but is still not bad, is this Kylie Pressed Bronzing Powder. This is in the shade Toasty. This is what it looks like right here. This one is a little bit more cool toned as well, but I don't know. There's just something about this that's just not my all-time favorite. Why do I feel like you can't see any of these at all? There you go. You can kind of see it. I don't know. There's something about this that I just don't love. I wonder if I had gotten the shade, I think it's Tequila Tan, if I would have liked it more, but that one looked a little bit more warm orangey, so I decided to go for, the cooler side of things. I don't know. I just feel like I don't find myself reaching for this one as much. It's not that it's bad, I don't find myself reaching for it as much, but it is still fairly new, so I am going to keep it. Okay, I'm also keeping this right here. This is the Revlon Skin Lights. This is in the shade 115 Sun-Kissed Beam. I love this guy as well. This is probably one of the most unique bronzers I have ever tried. This is truly like such a creamy powder. Oh my god. It's definitely a more like orangey, yellowy toned bronzer, which I think is really unique. It looks so yummy and delicious, and the texture on this is unbelievable. I can't believe this is from Revlon. Honestly, I would not have guessed it, because Revlon is, Revlon's Revlon, right? You don't normally think of all the brand new releases and go straight to Revlon. One that I used to like a lot more than I do now is this GG Gorgeous. This is the Sick Sculpt in Extra. This I received, I think, in an Ipsy maybe, but this was my like kind of go-to cool tone contouring bronzer for a while. But honestly, I don't reach for it as much anymore. I think I just found some better options. Honestly, if I want any sort of contour, I just kind of go for either the Milani or for the Too Faced. I just kind of how it goes. But this one's still good. Yeah, do I keep it? Do I not keep it? I'm going to keep it for now, but if I don't find myself reaching for it much in the next couple of months, I will declutter it, but for right now, it's going to stay. This guy right here, this is the Estate Bronzer in Cocoa. This was another hand-me-down, similar to the one blush that I was talking about. This is okay. It's not fantastic. It's a little too warm tone for me. A little too on the orangey side, so I think I am going to pass this along. There's nothing wrong with the formula. It blends nicely. It's very silky, very smooth, but just not a huge fan of the color. As you can see, it's a little orangey compared to my other powders, even some of my creams. And then lastly, this is a product that I have rediscovered lately and have actually been loving. This is the Makeup Revolution Bronzer Reloaded in Take a Vacation. I was a little skeptical about this at first, and I was not the biggest fan of it, but lately I have been absolutely loving this. If you self-tan and you want to keep that kind of glowy tan on your face, this is fantastic. Nothing too orange, nothing too warm, nothing crazy. It has a nice sheen to it, and when you look at it up close, it looks like it's gonna have glitter in it, but it really doesn't. I don't find that the glitter shows up on my skin at all. Let's see, something I'm gonna get rid of. Okay, right here. This is the e.l.f. finishing powder in Dark Deep. I actually got this. It was just like cheap somewhere, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, that'd be a nice bronzer color. But to be honest, it is a little too orange and a little too deep for me. I mean, you can see even when I am tan, it's a little too much. It's a little too pigmented since it is a pressed powder, and pressed powders tend to be a little bit more pigmented than a bronzer would be. So I am going to pass this along. Nothing wrong with this pressed powder though. I find that it's really finely milled, really nice. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this too. This is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in Forever Sunkissed. I just didn't like this. Similar to the blush. Just underwhelming. I don't feel like it blended nicely. I don't feel like the color was right for me. It felt a little too like orangey, yellowy for some reason. Just not a fan of this, and I never find myself reaching for this like ever, and I know that someone else can enjoy this much more than I will. Also going to be keeping this Marc Jacobs. This is the Tantastic bronzer. I got this when it was on sale during like holiday time. And while I don't think it is worth the money full price, I definitely think for the price that I got it, it was totally worth it. It's a really, really pretty bronzer. I'm not going to stand here and say that I see what the hype is about when it comes to this product. I don't necessarily understand why people go like flipping nuts for it. The color is really pretty. It blends really nicely. It's a gorgeous bronzer, but I have other bronzers that do just as good. Unpopular opinion, but I don't think this is the best bronzer ever. Okay, obviously we're keeping the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the best bronzer in the whole entire world. I like mine in the shade Bronzer. I know they have other shades now, but I have always loved the shade Bronzer, and I always will. I have surprisingly been using this less and less now that I have found other bronzers that I like. But this is still my go-to, my ride or die. If I want my makeup to look good, if I want my bronzer to look good, I instantly reach for this. I don't, however, love this guy. This is the Bronze Booster from Physicians Formula. This is in the shade Light to Medium. I picked this up a while ago, and I just think it's too orange, honestly, and it has glitter in it. This is just not working for me. If I want kind of a glowy tan, I definitely go for my Makeup Revolution baked bronzer that I just showed you. This one, not so much, and it's old. So she's going bye-bye. This one, okay, so this is very similar to the Makeup Revolution one. This is the Catrice Sun Lover Glow Bronzing Powder. I think it was Tati that talked about this a while ago when I used to watch her. And I am surprisingly not in love with this. I like the Makeup Revolution one better. There's nothing wrong with this. It's still a beautiful, beautiful like glowy bronzer, but this one's glittery. I find that there's more glitter in this one than in the Makeup Revolution one. I don't know if I want to pass this one on or not. I don't know, because I don't hate it and I like it. It's just, it has more glitter in it than I would prefer. I'm gonna put this one off to the side. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this little Hoola sample right here because I have a mini Hoola right here, so I don't need a sample and a mini. But I've never been a huge fan of Hoola. I never have. I don't think that it's all that a bag of chips. Some people really like it. I find it to be, again, I can't even get my fucking finger in. I can't get my finger in here, my nails. I find it to be a little overrated. The color's a little warm for my liking, but it's not bad. And I like having it in my collection to kind of compare to other things since this is such a, popular bronzer. Like I said, it's not terrible. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not great. This little guy here, this Tarte Park Ave Princess Amazonian Clay Bronzer. I'm getting rid of this too. I actually have this in a palette. I have the Park Ave Princess Bronzing Palette, so I don't need this, even if I did like it. But I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a shimmery bronzer, but it's a little too orange for me. Yeah, not a huge fan of that one. As much as this pains me to do, I'm gonna get rid of my Balm Desert Bronzer Blush. I loved the crap out of this thing. If you look back, I have had this for a long freaking time, a really long time. I wanna say this was like one of my first high-end makeup products I had. I think I was probably like 15 when I got this. Oh my gosh, you guys remember when Glamour Dolls and Lisa Frank was gonna be a thing? This was the Bitten in Bronze Matte Bronzer. This was such a good bronzer, and I don't know why this never like came to be. Honestly, I think this would have been so much better than the Morphe collection. However, I am going to get rid of this only because there's really no need for me to use it anymore. It is old, and also this collection never came to be, so it doesn't exist anymore. And it's, it's fine. I liked it at the time, but there's nothing so special that makes me want to hold on to it. This I'm definitely getting rid of. This is the Ciate Confetti Highlighter. This is way too dark for me to be a highlighter, so I put it in my bronzer, but it is way too shimmery. I mean, like, look at that. It's way too shimmery to be a bronzer of any sort. I mean, it's gorgeous, don't get me wrong, like the sheen is beautiful, but I just cannot use that as a highlighter, and as a bronzer it's way too shimmery. So hopefully someone else will like this. Even when I'm at my tannest, there's no way that can be a highlighter for me. This Makeup Revolution, this is the Mega Bronzer in Cool. I had really high hopes for this, and I have to say I was just disappointed on all fronts. Again, nothing wrong with it. I just find that this happens a lot with Makeup Revolution products. There's never anything wrong with the product per se. It just fails to kind of meet my expectations. It's a fine bronzer. It's very creamy, and I feel like that actually makes it so it gets kind of like stuck when you're blending it. I'm gonna pass this along. I just wasn't a fan of how it blended on the skin, how it looked. Not quite my favorite thing. All right, this is my Morphe Brontour in Celebutant. There's nothing wrong with this, but I was talking about this in the blush section of this video, but the Morphe Brontours are just okay. I like the shade of this. It's great. I just don't find myself reaching for it a lot. I am still going to keep it though, because like I said, I do enjoy using it, and every time I pull it out, I'm like, oh, this is nice. I should use this more often. And then I just forget. I kind of get lost in the sea of bronzers. All right, what is this? This is the e.l.f. Turks and Caicos bronzer. Wow, this is a throwback. Oh my God. I don't know why I have this. This is literally a glitter bomb. Do you guys see how much glitter is in that? Like, that's insane. I know that e.l.f. for a while was trying to do this whole, like, mimicking NARS thing, but oh my God, I didn't realize how much glitter is in this. It literally looks like someone just sprayed glitter all over this. I'm torn on what to do with this. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Powder Bronzer in Tawny. This was a very weird release from ABH. I feel like this is one of those releases that people criticize them about a lot of their releases later on, but this was definitely one that I could see getting some harsh criticism, but I don't really feel like it did because public opinion of ABH was still so high. But these bronzers are all red. Like, all of them are just so red. Like, strangely red. I don't reach for it a ton. I just found it to be a very disappointing product. But I don't know. Looking at it makes me kind of want to keep it. Oh my God, why do I do this? Why? Why I have so many bronzers? Why? I don't reach for you. Why? No. Getting rid of it. Getting rid of it. I don't want to, but I am. Sunset Drip Tease from Wet n Wild and the Balm's Betty Luminizer. I know I'm going to get rid of Betty Luminizer. I know. Sad face. I used to have all the Luminizer sisters, and I was very proud of that collection, but I really was truly collecting it for no other reason than I just wanted to have all of them. I used to use this as kind of like a bronzer, topper, but in the end, I mean, if you can see that between this one and the Ciate one, they're very, very similar, and I don't use either of them. I'm not really into that, like, highlighter as bronzer look. So someone else will find joy in that, I'm sure. However, I am keeping this guy from Wet n Wild, the Sunset Strip Tease. This is a really, really nice bronzer. Is it the best drugstore bronzer? No. Is it the best bronzer at all? No. But it still is really beautiful. It has a really nice sheen to it. It's so cheap, and I like having a really good recommendation for a cheap bronzer. That is still fantastic. So I'm keeping that one. And that concludes that. So I'm going to put everything back in. Okay, so I just have to decide on the Catrice Sun Lover. I think I am going to pass it on, honestly, looking at all these bronzers. I'm looking at all these and then I'm looking at this one and I realize how much more I like all of these versus this one. So I am going to pass this one along, I think. By the way, this is in the shade 10 Sunkissed Bronze, by the way. And there we go. That's that. Thank you guys for coming to my declutter. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I feel like I did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the state of things right now. I feel like I have a good collection that's manageable. I don't feel bad about buying new products, but at the same time, I feel like I don't necessarily need to. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Comment down below what you guys thought of these bronzers. If you have any suggestions for me, if you liked any of these, didn't like any of these. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye. I don't know what that was. Mwah. My hands were kissing. Mwah. Bye.